22. Silence your cell phones before the event. Our first speaker today is Matt Carter. Matt will be introduced by his friend, Gary Goldstein.
I was very flattered when Matt asked me to introduce him for his senior speech. But when I started thinking about what I was going to write, I realized, do I really know Matt Carter? Does anybody really know? I call him Fratty Matty sometimes, but I have no idea why. I don't think he's part of some high school fraternity, but I really don't know the answer to that. Sometimes he's at our house, Joey, that goes by Joe Bob. No idea where that comes from either. Matt comes over after school sometimes, but there's usually a lot of chatting and eating, and I'm not sure there's a lot of studying getting done. Matt says he lived in Virginia Beach, but so did I, and we don't know the same places at all. I even heard that he does gymnastics, like a lot of times after school, but I've never seen him do anything gymnastic, not even a somersault. But there are some things I do know about Matt. He comes over to study or hang out. He's engaging. He puts his dishes away if he uses any. He says thank you and goodbye every time. He asks if the candy is up for grabs before he eats it. He has been a good friend to Elise, and we enjoy his hanging around our house when he does. Matt, good luck with your speech, and hopefully I'll learn a little bit about you today.
Be doing a flip at the conclusion of the speech. Unless Ms. Gahan says it's okay. All right. Is this a good volume? All right. I spent many years of my life being a good child. My mom loves to remind me how she dubbed me the perfect child every week. A wonder child to any adult in a 5-mile radius and perfect behavior in school. Where did it all go wrong? My journey to collegiate began my transition to a wonderful young man you see here today. Whether it's my speeding habits or my unexplainable need to throw solitary parties, I seem to always be getting in trouble. My typical response to my friends making plans is, sorry, I'm grounded. Actually, just got grounded this Tuesday. The inordinate amount of time that I spend in trouble allows me an equivalent amount of time to reflect on my actions. Every mistake that I make is a chance to change. Every time I get in trouble, something can be learned from it. As I reluctantly come to learn, it is our mistakes that cause us to learn the most. My time as a troubled high schooler gives me the opportunity to learn from those experiences. I know I will come out on the other side as a better person because of the trouble I've had. My family has always been supportive of me. My mom and dad love me unconditionally, and my brother is one of my best friends. With this great love comes great trust. The actions that I've described previously have taken about 16 years of trust and brought that crumbling down. Edgar Allan Poe once said, years of love have been forgotten in the hatred of remains. Trust is a bridge connecting two people. Breaking that trust destroys all of the work that it's taken to build that bridge. This is what I've done to my family these past few years. However, I'm completely unoriginal, so I'll offer you yet another quote to learn you. Pablo Picasso said, every act of creation is first an act of destruction. Every time I break trust with my family, I have an opportunity to rebuild. This rebuilding is the best part about it. We may never be able to start off with a clean slate, but nothing is ever completely done. You just have to find another starting point and start building. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always giving me the chances to better myself after I messed up countless times. This whole speech for me has been about connections. First, connections to the past, then connections to my family. Now I'd like to talk about something that to me is just as important as those two topics. My connection to my friends. Friends are important. You can create lifelong memories or even brighten up your day by seeing your friends. Now I'd like to offer you one more quote. You are the sum of the 5 people you spent most time with. I love this idea. Through this belief, I've tried to surround myself with friends who can teach me something. With that being said, I would like to quickly thank the 5 friends that I've saved myself from. Parker, confidence. You always seem like, at least, you seem like you know what's going on. Maddox, humor. I could not get through a day without us calling each other names. Joe Bob, you show me how to be a perfect friend. There hasn't been one day where I've ever been mad at you. Zach, you show me how to be kind to every single person that crosses your path. Couldn't find you, so. And from Elise, I've learned how to appreciate the moment. There are more people in this room that have taught me things, but because of the quote, I was only limited to 5. Thank you all for giving me the best year of my life. As the last few senior speeches come to an end, I want to invite you all to reflect. Underclassmen, have fun, get in trouble, live your life. Use those experiences to shape you and change for the better. Seniors, this is the beginning of the end, the start of a new era in our lives. Come 4 years from now, many of us may not talk to each other. We'll move on to new friends and different experiences. But I ask you one thing, don't write off these 4 years as child's play. We've spent what is almost a quarter of our lives together in this school. Remember all that we've done together, all the experiences we've had, all the tent lunches, Clash Royale matches, big losses in poker, the late night gaming sessions. They were not meaningless and they never will be if they live on in your memories. You all have made my high school career better than I could have ever imagined. Thank you. Go backflip. Give me stage fright.
That is hard to follow up. Okay. Our second speaker today is Jackson Zale. Jackson will be introduced by his cousin, Ben Burden.
Hi, I'm Jackson's cousin Ben. My whole life, we've made countless great memories together. From holidays to vacations to just playing basketball in the driveway. It's always a great time with Jackson. I'm sure a lot of you guys have made a lot of countless memories with Jackson as well. He may be a little bit goofy, but he's also one of the most genuine, caring guys I know. So I was honored when I was asked to introduce Jackson Vale.
What's going on, everyone? All right. As an 18-year-old who's 4 months away from going off to college, I have an alarmingly low amount of common sense. Both inside and outside of collegiate and friend groups, I'm widely known as someone who seriously struggles to think before making decisions. On the regular, I will say or do something that leaves my closest friends often legitimately pondering what is wrong with me. As a whole, I tend to act more on impulse based on the first thoughts instead of thinking about the best ways to handle certain situations. This aspect of me has certainly led to some questionable decision making. However, these actions have also brought some pretty comedic stories that I can confidently say I've only somewhat learned my lessons from. I want to start by saying that I was a completely different person in middle school. I had short, straight hair, and no, I have never gone a perm. I rocked a pair of bright green glasses, and my go-to outfits consisted of cut-off Under Armour tank tops and bright neon socks. Just from that information, logical thinking is already out of the picture. During this time of my life, I found myself watching countless videos of people making diss tracks on one another on YouTube, which many of you probably remember. It was a big thing on social media at the time, so I thought, what better idea than to make a diss track of my own? At middle school, Anchorage, there was this girl that I never got along with all too well. We were constantly paired up with one another since our last names spelled close to each other in the alphabet. So I had many encounters with her that absolutely fueled my fire to obliterate everything that she had ever known. I'm not going to get too much into what I said in the song, the pride that I still have, but to say the least, I thought I definitely won the battle between us. That was until one day after school, when I was abruptly awoken from a nap by my mom, calling to tell me that the Anchorage police were at my door and wanting to talk to me. I ended up learning pretty quickly that it was not acceptable to make verbal threats towards people, even if it was only to be a joke. I also ended up being told that if I ever did something like this again, it would be put on my permanent record, so I needed to shape up pretty quickly. As if this story could be even worse for me, this person had grown up to be one of the most popular girls in all of Louisville. So word got around fairly quickly of a 5'6", 100-pound seventh grader attempting to rap. In fact, one of the first interactions ever with Kate Jones at Collegiate was her questioning me on whether or not I really decided to make a diss track on this girl. So the moral of the story is that it probably isn't the best idea to threaten others unless you want to have a super enjoyable meeting with the local police. The audience right now, I'd probably be thinking to myself, I'm sure Jackson had to have learned his lesson to try to avoid things that would involve interactions with policemen. If you were thinking this, you would be absolutely incorrect because still as a middle schooler, I managed to get the cops called on me yet again. This time around, I almost got arrested for breaking into my neighbor's house. This is not with any ill intentions, as my neighbors and I were very close friends. Rather, earlier that week, I left a basketball at their house and wanted to go to get it to put up some shots outside. Thinking nothing of it, I asked my neighbor if I could go into their house and get the ball since they were out of town. I was caught by surprise when, after opening the door, the security alarm went off in full blast. I now had a minute to figure out the password to turn the alarm system, and I only managed to get 2 attempts to correctly guess. I intelligently said 000 and 1 2 3 4 5 6. Absolutely bewildered that those combinations of numbers didn't work, I accepted my demise and sprinted out of the house as the alarm system continued to echo throughout the neighborhood. At this point, a typical person who had some common sense would calmly explain to their parents what had happened, realizing they had done nothing wrong. However, I quickly decided that I could not do this because I had a serious history with the police, and I could not afford during my middle school years to have the felony of breaking into someone's home on my record. My solution was sprinting up to my room and locking all the doors, refusing to let my confused parents in. Moments later, I heard the police sirens, and looking through the blinds of my bedroom window, I saw my father being confronted by the cops. I was almost certain that in the coming minutes, I would be on my way to jail with absolutely no hope to ever have a successful life. Surprisingly, I actually didn't end up becoming a felon from the situation, but my actions did result in multiple long talks from my parents about how I could not have handled the situation anymore for me. For those of you wondering, yes, my lack of thinking before acting has certainly seeped into my experience in high school too. I do believe as I've become more mature, I've learned better, but I'm still known by all of my friends as someone with zero whatsoever. While my lack of thinking has brought with it some disasters, it has also brought countless moments of laughter with the people closest to me. I've grown to love being the guy that gets called Midzar by Matt and who gets told, "Shut up, Jargar," before even opening my mouth by Max. Embracing this sort of role has definitely helped shape me into the person that I am becoming. Next year in college, I have promised my family not to get arrested like I almost did twice in middle school. Being completely on my own for an extended period of time will definitely bring me through some learning curves, not just for me, but for every senior listening right now. As cliche as it might sound, writing this speech has really opened my eyes to the little amount of time I have left with my fellow classmates and collegiate community. I think it is very important for everyone listening to take time to cherish the present moment because before you know it, you will be in a completely different chapter of your life. I, for one, know that I'm going to take advantage of every moment in the coming years not getting caught up in the little things along the way. Doing so will allow me to make long-lasting memories with those around me. But more importantly, if I ever do up in jail while at IU, I'll have a group of people that I can rely on to bail me out. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt and Jackson. Let's give them a round of applause for their senior. Okay, I try not to do this on senior speech days, but we've got a few announcements today, so just hang tight for me. So the first is a challenge for come and ask. We've gotten a little sloppy with our lunch routines. We have left dishes on the tables in the Thornton Dining Commons. We've left dishes out in the colonnade, in the Riva Seed, on the outside picnic tables. I need you guys to put all of your dishes, all of your trash every day after lunch in the dish drop area. Okay, I was there yesterday when Travis Advisory cleaned up and there were a lot of dishes for them to clear, and that's not their job. So I'm asking everybody to be really cognizant of that. I'm also asking you to do the same with your snack trash. Okay, Davis Commons is getting a little messy, and I don't want that to be the responsibility of anybody else other than you. So if you can please throw away your trash. If you see trash, this is our community. This is our communal space. Let's take care of it. Please pick it up, even if it's not yours. Okay. And then just a couple of reminders at the end of the year. One, you can't go into the Thornton Dining Commons during the middle school lunch snack time. So that 11:45 time. You can't go in there. Middle school is trying to feed 250 kids at that time, so we need to stay out of that space. And we also should not be going into the dance studio during the school day. We should also not be going into the locker rooms during the school day. Those spaces are off limits during the school day to students. Okay. Let's see here. And then the two other announcements. One, we have a pep rally tomorrow for our spring sports. So I hope everybody will wear blue and gold tomorrow for our pep rally. And then the second announcement is that all juniors, if you can please stay for a quick class meeting. The rest of you guys are dismissed. Have a great day.